Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and welcome back to my Final Fantasy XIV Let's Play. Now, the last video I did gathering, and I promised that I would do a crafting for beginners as my next video. Now, as much as I want to go do Total Rock and keep doing the main story so I can actually get this character leveled, I made a promise, and I'm going to keep it. So this video, we're going to be taking a beginner's look at crafting. I'm going to give you some tips for leveling it, and some things you may want to do looking toward getting your crafters to 50. But for the most part, we're just going to be taking a look at the basics. And as you remember, I picked up my first goldsmithing quest, which was to deliver a copper ingot to Serendipity. So that is what we are going to do now. I still have all those copper ores from the last video, I think. That was like half the reason why I did those copper ores. So we're going to go take a look at the crafting log. Now, I showed you guys the gathering log yesterday. The crafting log is a lot like the gathering log in that it keeps all of your recipes, lets you know what they all are, what you need, and it lets you navigate the different items and the use of the materials. So, to be a little clearer, there are quite a few things here. So as you can see, all 8 of the classes are at the top. Switching between them with my controller is L1 and R1 will switch between the different recipes that you can check. Now, you have a favorites tab, a recipe level tab, and a special recipes tab, which isn't going to be really big at this level. The Beast Tribe one is something we probably won't worry about too much just yet. So, the first thing we're going to take a look at is extras. So what this is, your favorites list. If there's something that you like crafting very, very often, you could stick it in this favorites list, and then it'll just be here so you don't have to navigate through all your recipes in order to find it. Recipe level is just the level of the recipe, you know, in comparison to your own level. Like, for example, I'm level 1, so I can only do the level 1 to 5 recipes pretty much, and then under each item, it tells you what level the recipe is. Copper Ingot 1, Bone Aura 2, Bone Brand 3, etc, etc. Beast Tribe, these are a set of quests that you can use to help level your crafters. You may need a higher level battle class in order to complete a lot of those quests, but it does help once you can start doing Beast Tribe quests, which we will talk about in another video. These are just those recipes that you'll be using for the quest. And there's a bunch of other things that you'll eventually see added to this list as well. So, we need a level 1 recipe, a copper ingot. So as you can see, we have all the recipes right here. Now, I'm actually going to very quickly, HUD layout. I'm going to move my item help over down here. Alright, because it's actually, and my item help's a little too big. I would like my item help to be a little smaller. I made it big for one of the previous videos, and I never shrunk its size after that. So, going back to the crafting log. So if you can see on the right hand side after you've selected a recipe, you can see the materials you need. You need what kind of shards. Do you need shards, crystals, or clusters? Those are all the different types of catalysts for the recipes. It'll tell you some information like the difficulty of the craft, the quality, which is something we'll get into when we actually start crafting. The durability, which is another thing we'll get into when we actually start crafting. How many you can craft, as you can see the craftable tab. Bag, how many you currently own, how many high quality and normal quality you own, as you can see. And then you have the materials themselves. So this recipe requires 3 copper ores, and then it tells you how many of these you have. I have 73 normal quality copper ores, and I have 0 HQ copper ores. You can actually choose to use HQ materials in order to improve the quality of the item before you even start crafting, which is something you'll want to be doing when you're trying to make high quality items. But again, a lot of these are lessons that we'll just have to take into in the future. As you can see, every different item, you know, has different sets of items in the recipe. So with that out of the way, let's actually go into our first synthesis. So we only really have one ability at this level. As you can see, it's basic synthesis, which is just the ability to complete the item. But let's talk about this menu right here. I'll drag it to the middle of the screen and blow it up so it's a little bit easier to see. There you go. So, we have a bunch of information here. We have the item that we're trying to make and what step it is. That just means how many steps it's taken. Like, oh, I used 1 at action, so that's next step. So, durability, 40 out of 40. Every time you try to improve the progress of your item, your durability is going to go down by 10. There are abilities that can change this, but that's the general gist of it. Progress, the stat that I was just talking about, when that's full, the craft is done. If you don't get the progress to full by the time your durability hits 0, then the synth will fail and you'll likely lose some of the materials. So, Condition normal, that's something that doesn't really matter unless you're trying to make high quality items. You'll have poor, normal, good, and excellent. And if you try to improve the quality while the condition is really good, whether it's, you know, normal, good, or excellent, then the amount of quality that you increase it by will be higher. If it's poor, then the quality's not going to go up by very much. You can also use these different indicators to activate certain abilities, and it's a whole system, trust me. When we get into deeper crafting, you're going to see it's a whole huge system of abilities that you have to use and look at your conditions. So then we have progress, I already spoke about that. Quality, increasing the quality stat just increases the odds that when the synth finishes, that it'll be a high quality item. If you can get the quality bar all the way full, it's a 100% chance at being high quality. Keep in mind, not every item you craft even has a high quality version. So if the high quality percentage is 0, it most likely means that you can't get high quality items at all. And it'll usually make note of that somewhere in the crafting log. So, and then of course you just have quit, which is whatever, I give up. That's pretty much all you need to do. So we are going to use basic synthesis, and bam, we got 6 progress, but my durability dropped by 10, like I said it would. So basic synthesis increases progress. It has a 100% efficiency based on my stats, and it has a success rate of 90%. That's a big thing. A lot of your actions that increase quality or progress by default usually don't have a 100% chance of success. Some of them do. And you can actually use other abilities to improve your success rate. But as of right now, I have a 10% chance of basic synthesis failing. Now, do I fail? No. Complete it. Proof of completion recorded in the crafting log. I got to level 2. I got 120 EXP for crafting the copper ingot for the first time. Yes, just like with the gathering log, the first time you craft an item, you get an experience point bonus. I got 102 experience points for actually completing it. And then I think I got 100 EXP for when I handed in the Do You Want to Be a Goldsmith quest, because I'm pretty sure it's 300 EXP to level, but I just made it to level 2 in a single craft, so maybe it's not. So I'm gonna go hand in this item, and we're gonna just continue crafting for a little bit. I'm mostly just gonna be making these copper ingots, and then I'm gonna be talking about Levequests, because when it comes to leveling your crafters and your gatherers, Levequest is probably where you'll spend the most of it. Like, I've recommended using them for your battle classes when needed, but I have made mention in the past how essential they are for leveling, crafting, and gathering. Just how much faster it is doing these activities if you use them for that. So there, we'll hand in the first item. We'll actually get a body piece that has some stats on it, thankfully. Yep. Ooh, wow, we get a lot of stuff. Wind shards, fire shards, copper ores. I could have used those copper ores for the quest, but I'll take it. Alright, so now let me just go check out the gear. Did they give me... They gave me a body piece, right? Yeah, craftsmanship plus 18. Alright. For some reason, I don't know why my item help is all the way down there in the bottom right when I just moved it up here. It's really annoying, the item help, isn't it? It's pretty annoying. Oh well, okay, it's in a decent spot. Also, I just took the body piece off for some reason. Okay, so let's make a new one of those. There we go. Alright, and now we're good to go. So we're just going to quickly craft up a few things in order to get to level 5. Hopefully that works out. I'm actually going to try and craft the bone aura after I hit level 5 because it's my hand-in for the Grand Companies. But one thing that I want to make mention of is the stats that you actually use for crafting. Now that I've gone over the whole system, let's go over the stats for it. So you remember we had gathering and perception. Now we have craftsmanship and control. Craftsmanship affects the amount of progress achieved in a single synthesis step. So basically, the craftsmanship stat increases how much progress you're going to gain. It helps you finish the synthesis. Whereas control improves the amount of quality that you can get. So craftsmanship is to actually complete synthesis, and control is to try and improve the quality. Those are the two most important stats that you're going to need. Now, of course, CP, which is crafting points, you can see at the bottom of your screen, very much like GP, is basically your MP for a single synth. And that stat is also extremely important. There are a lot of crafting abilities later on in the game, and eventually you'll want to improve your CP with items, as it allows you to use more of these abilities to try and get the desired result that you want. All three of these stats are extremely important, and since you get all of your CP back at the beginning of every synth pretty much, then you never have to worry about conserving it for consecutive crafting. Now, moving back into the crafting log, there is one more thing that we're going to unlock at some point, and it's quick synthesis. Basically, we don't have it yet, but at some point we'll unlock the ability to just have the game automatically synthesize an item however many times we want it to do based on the amount of materials we have in our inventory. And it doesn't allow you to directly influence the quality of the item. And most of the time you'll just do that when you don't really care about the quality of the item, you just want to mass produce something. But but it'll be an option right next to synthesize when it actually becomes available. And you usually have to have completed an item in order to quick synthesize it at some point. I got people trying to help me as if I'm a new player. Alright, there we go. I just had to let him know. Somebody, it's like, hey, you have trouble finding something? No, I'm literally just standing here. So, yeah, those are the basic systems. So, let's see how much. Let's see. We got the bone aura. You know what? I'll try a normal quality one instead of an HQ one. How about that? So this one has a durability of 60 and it has a progress of 20, a lot higher than the previous ones. So, all I can really do is try to finish it, and that wasn't too bad, right? Like these low-level synths, but I actually did just fail. I just had a basic synthesis failure. That's why I didn't actually finish the synth. There we go. Success. And I almost got level 3 off that, too. Can't make a bone brand. I don't have any marbled eyes. Maybe I should make some copper rings, huh? I gotta make a few of these first. But we're trying to level up, so we might as well. Can complete those in a single step as well now. And yes, I am using the friendship circlet for bonus experience points. Figure why the hell not, you know? Let's see how much these copper rings are good for. I still haven't unlocked any abilities, even at level 3. I wonder when my first crafting ability gets unlocked. Now, one thing about crafting abilities, they actually can be cross-classed to other crafters. And that's actually considered fairly mandatory for a lot of end-game crafting. And I say fairly mandatory, I mean, if you want to do any of it at all, it's pretty much mandatory. Like, you really, really, really need to level almost like every crafting class in order to do like hardcore crafting at endgame on any crafting class. It's crazy, but trust me, it's worth it if you know what you're doing. It's totally worth it. Trust me, trust me, trust me. It is worth it. I know people who make millions upon millions upon millions. Now this item's a little bit harder to make. It is a level 5 item and I am still not wearing any real gear. But I haven't been failing any synthesis, so I guess it just works out for me. I'm just trying to craft, man. I got all this copper ore. Trying to go from level 1 to 5 in no time at all. There we go. About to level. The low level leveling is really easy, especially because I have rested experience points. Like, that's making these first 5 levels. I'm also destroying 5 levels of rested XP again, as you can see. My favorite thing to do in this series is to completely destroy 5 levels of rested experience in no time at all. I think it's everybody's favorite thing. I'm trying to show what a failed synthesis looks like, and it's not working. That 10% rate is not kicking in anymore. Alright, I got level 5. Let's pick up some real gear now. That's another thing, item comparison. All these things are still here. Add to favorites being the way that you can add to the favorites list that I showed you before. And now that I'm level 5, I unlocked level 6 to 10 recipes. And that's just going to happen every time you get a few levels. That's just going to happen. You know, there's not much you can really do about that. Not like you'd want to do anything about that. You wouldn't want to, like, stop that from happening, you know. That's just natural progression. I'm going to grab the next quest, and then I'm going to get some gear upgrades, most likely. I want to see what they want me to craft, specifically. Eventually, they're going to want me to start crafting high-quality items, but I don't think that time is now. Alright, so I need copper gorgets. I think the only copper gorget I have is not even one I crafted. I'm pretty sure that's one that I just have, you know? So I'm actually going to quickly go to the guild supplier and get some items that I need in order to do this synthesis. Let's see. You gotta have some regular leather, right? Yep, they do. I need a few circles of this. I don't remember how much. Let's check my crafting log to see how much I need for a copper gorget. There it is. I need 1 leather each, so I should just need 3 leathers. This is a nice, cheap way of getting some of the materials you need. Especially, it's able to be done at low levels, but at high levels, you won't be able to make use of it as much, you know? So we're going to go to our crafting log. It's 2 copper ingots each. It sounds like this. I wish I had quick synthesis because I would love to just mass produce this item right now. I need 6 of them total. Oh, it just failed. See, that was a failure. Might as well just zoom in like this right here. Also, as you can see, I have basic touch now, which improves quality, but it only has a 70% success rate. Only 70%. So let's you know, it only takes me 1 step to finish a copper ingot. Let me see if I can succeed once. There we go. So improve my quality by 34 points. If I do it again, let's see if it improves it again. Yeah, another 34 points. So that's just based on my control stat. That's just how much quality I am going to gain. While you're leveling also, it helps on a per synth basis if your quality is a little bit higher because it improves the amount of experience points you gain. That was a failure right there. Just remember, you got to be on the lookout for durability. You don't want the synthesis to fail. You want to avoid that at all costs. So you don't want to just spam quality and then forget about your progress. You do it a couple of times. You usually want to try and finish the synth as the durability is hitting 0. If you could do it before then, great. But as long as your final step finishes the synth, you're good to go. Alright, so I'm going to make 3 of these because I'm imagining that I use the one that I have. So this should be about as easy to craft as the one before it. I'm actually going to get it to the 30 out of 33. And then we're going to try a couple of quality steps just to improve the experience points. I don't actually want to make HQ for this quest, but figure, why not? Get some bonus experience. That was worth like 700 right there. Oh, there's a failure. All right, not feeling my luck. Oh, 2 failures in a row. 10% the dream. We got 2 failures with 10%, which means if we fail a single other step, the synth is going to fail. Are we lucky? Yes, we are. We managed to finish it. So even if your durability hits 0 and you finish all the progress, it does count as a finish. It's just that if you hit 0 and the progress isn't finished, then it'll fail the synthesis. He looks really happy when he's doing the synthesis. Alright, there we go. I don't know why I keep pressing square there. I think it's because square is my cancel button in Reciteer. So it's just what I'm doing. Nope. Oh, okay. That was not what I meant to do at all. Okay, that's what I meant to do. And now we get to select an item. I need all these items. I'm going to go with a headpiece. I know what, you know what? I'm going to go with legs. Because I have the friendship circlet, but I am going to need to buy a headpiece. Because I'm going to be trying to HQ synth this, this item, you know? The bone aura. So we got the level 5. I actually picked up my first offhand, which I could definitely use here. Still don't have another main hand, though. That's lame. That's lame. Alright, let's go over to the markets and check things out. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee real quick. That morning congestion gets to me without my coffee. Especially because it's really cold today. It's so cold. Not like that Heartless song by Kanye. Just like, it's cold, you know? It can be cold in Jersey. It gets really cold here, actually. We're kind of like a decent distance between the equator and the North Pole. So, we have hot summers and cold winters. It's just not like Alaska cold and Mexico, you know, hot. Alright, which NPC was it again? This one. Yeah, my congestion's distracting me. I apologize. It's not on purpose. Field gear. Here we go. Alright, so we got 1 hempen bandana. Do I not have a hempen shepherd tunic for level 6? I might have got rid of it. Or I just never bought it. Which is what it's starting to look like right now. I do not see a level 6 body piece. Oh, you know what I did? I bought the gathering only one because I'm an idiot. Because I was like, oh, I don't need the crafting one. What do I need that for? Craftsmanship and gathering, as you can see, are the 2 stats. I think I just waited till like level 9 and bought the amateur's Kurta. Well, technically, I don't really need this, do I? 8? I mean, it would help, but I'm not desperate for craftsmanship for this synth. I'm going to pass on it. Also, I need to stop selecting battle gear. That would definitely help. Control. Oh, I need level 6 for that, too. Alright, so I'm going to grab the gloves. I'm going to get level 6 real quick. I'm like 1 synth away from doing it anyway, so might as well, right? Already have those. What about boots? Boots, boots, boots. Alright, we're good to go on that front. Also, let me see if there's any new main hand items. None of this stuff's too expensive, so I don't mind spending a little bit of gil on it. I don't want to go around spending tons of gil on materials is the big thing I want to try avoiding. So I can't get another one to level 8. Okay. That is not an issue. They put the crafting log on my hotbar. I might as well use it, right? Alright, let's just quickly craft another one of these. There. Level 6. Perfect. So we got gloves. I'm gonna put on the headpiece for this. I probably didn't even need that headpiece because yeah, I already had one of those. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Sorry. You guys already knew that though, right? Please tell me you knew. All right, so the gloves were level 6. I don't have anything for more CP at this level. Okay, so the main thing I was preparing for was to do my mission allowance, which is for a bone aura. As you can see, I already have one NQ, but I want an HQ. So that's going to be my goal here, is to try and craft the HQ. So you can see more along the lines of what it's like. So in order to do that, I'm just going to go here. I actually just happen to have exactly the amount of HQ for one attempt. If I fail it, I fail it. Not too big a deal with no abilities. It's not the easiest thing to do. However, as you can see, I managed to improve my quality by a pretty sizable amount in order to get an advantage. In fact, that's a halfway. So now it's not nearly as difficult with using HQ items for me to try and get my HQ rate to something that is respectable. Which, as you can see, is going quite well for me. So I have a 92% chance. I don't know how much synthesis this is going to finish. 18. I'm going to take my chances. I'm going to go for the 100%. And hopefully I don't fail this. There we go. And I synthesized a pair of HQ Bone Aura. They gave me a 238% bonus experience. Pretty sure I was out of rested experience, so that was just pure bonus. And we managed to do it. So now I can go hand those in. They're probably not going to be worth much, as we've already kind of established with the previous parts. But still, it's nice to be able to do those kind of crafts. And now from this point on, it's going to be, I'm going to need to like gather a ton more materials in order to do this at a low cost. And which is why I really wanted to gather, to do mining and botany. It's just so much more convenient for the sake of trying to, you know what I'm trying to say, of trying to level a crafter without having to just buy materials off the market border from NPCs and stuff like that. It's so much more cost efficient to be able to do it this way. So I'm going to go hand this item in, and then I'm going to talk about probably the single most important thing, especially if you already have a level 50 battle class, that you're probably going to end up doing in order to level your crafters and your gatherers. Now, specifically, this one's going to be looking at crafters. Leaves for gatherers, you just go out into the world and do them. You know, I already spoke about that in the last video. But this is where you're going to use most of your leaves. Like, you might use some of them on leveling your battle class, especially your first one, but you're going to use way more on crafting and gathering if that's something that you end up being interested in. So I'm going to hand in HQ Bone Ore. I saw the NQ right there. Where the heck is my HQ? There it is. Got it. Want to trade a high quality item? Sure. Give me that bonus experience points. And we're good to go. Somebody's waving to me. I think somebody recognizes me. Huzzah. I don't have huzzah, so I can't do that emote on this guy. Okay. So, with that out of the way, the last thing I gotta talk about is leaves. So, leaves on crafters are a lot different than battle classes and gathering. You don't go to a location and activate a leave and then do a sort of, you know, mini quest. You basically just accept a leave. It'll tell you deliver this item to this person, and you just have to deliver that item to that person. It's pretty simple. So we're going to talk to this guy. We're going to go with Tradecraft leaves. And there you go. We have level 1. We have level 5. Oop, that was my mistake. So as you can see, We have rings. This guy wants me to deliver a pair of copper wristlets to Rorik. This guy wants me to deliver a bone brand. This guy wants copper ingots. This guy wants ram horn claws, a bone necklace, or a pair of copper earrings. Your goal is to just do these over and over again and hand in high quality items if you can. So I'm going to include a link in the description of the video to all of the locations for the crafting leaves. And there should be some recommendations there on the ones that you should actually use to level up your crafting class. And it's really going to come down to, what do you want to do? Because there's a couple of different kinds of crafting ones. Some of them will allow you to do 3 hand-ins per quest. They're usually worth less experience points overall. Not overall. With just 1 hand-in, they're usually worth a little bit less, but when you do all 3 hand-ins, it's worth a lot, especially if you HQ and all of those end up being worth double. It's a crazy amount of experience points difference. Like, let's see. Okay, so I'm going to accept, what's a quest? I'm going to accept one of these level 1 quests. I'm going to accept this one, and I'm going to accept this one, just so you can see what it's like. So deliver a pair of copper wristlets to Rorik and deliver a copper ingot to Rorik. Luckily, Rorik is right over here. On my mini-map, you can see that is where I'm supposed to go to hand in my leave quest. So, let's go over to him and let's hand in the copper and rubbers one first. So this is the copper ingot one. That's my copper ingot. There it is. Sign here, please. Thank you. Have a nice day. And we're done. That's it. Quest done. Now we're going to hand in a pair of copper wristlets. And see if we get the other kind. Alright, so both of those were just single hand-in quests. Sometimes the guy will ask you, would you like to repeat your order? And you can do that up to 3 times. And it's worth a nice chunk of experience points. You'll see those when you get to it, and they'll also be in the recommendations in the actual link that I'm providing in the description of the video. But anyway, hopefully this was a nice little jump into the beginners of crafting. It becomes way more complex. The abilities that you're going to need, the items that you're going to be able to craft, the rotations. You actually need rotations in crafting. Something that people kind of only affiliate with battle classes is something that you will need for crafting in order to be successful, especially when you start getting into those 2, 3, 4-star difficulty recipes at level 50. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video where I'm going to be doing Total Rock as my healer. Until then, take care.